Okay, so I was gonna head back to where we were to start recording again, but I saw this and how could I not show it? Comedy genius. Just pure gold right there. Hello, good afternoon everyone, Cosmic Blur here. This is our second part of the Splatoon 2 playthrough. Now, something a little special happened. The audio capture for this episode got a little screwy, and the original audio that I got as I was recording got lost. So we're sort of doing this on playback mode. I'm doing this back as I'm recording an audio track. So you know, it's not gonna be live commentary, it's just sort of commentary. Because the other option was for me to just re-record everything, but I mean, it wasn't gonna be the same, you know, in the end, because I got new upgrades and new weapons and such, so if I went back and re-recorded this, well, it wasn't gonna be the same thing as if we were just going through it the first time. And here we see the first instance of the dash track, a tool that's going to be of help for us later. It's gonna launch us up, give us a little speed boost forward. The way the mobility progresses in these stages is interesting. I do enjoy it. They have the rails and the tracks and such. I think we're due to go on the rails next. And it's sort of cool. And well, yeah, there's our first example of the ride rails. You can hop on them, you can take on squid form on them. I feel they did a lot. They did more with them on the campaign here. It's actually really cool in some of the stages that we're going to be seeing later. We're just going to be taking the rail through the squid ring again, calamari. There's something sort of sinister about the fact that it's calamari, but well, what do I know? And here I take the brunt of that hit, just straight on the face, and then I duck behind cover, as you should, and just take out the guy. Now I make a quick turn for the crate back there. I wasn't gonna get it at first, but then I remembered, you know, oh, there could be like a scroll or something important in there. So I went back for it, and it's just fish eggs. And here you see me be a little confused, like I don't know how to get up there. It took me a while to process it. Well, a few seconds basically, but yeah. Then remember, you jump farther and move faster when you're in squid form, so that's exactly what we do, and we nabbed ourselves some fish eggs right there. Now here you have the first instance of the ink pistons. These things, I was a little confused about them. Then I noticed that they sort of like clean the ink from where you put it. So that, well, the mobility is a little different around them, right? And I was trying to find out how to get up in that crate. And then I realized, oh, there's a way to the crate. Wait, no, actually, I just opened the crate and got moving. The one that I'm talking about right now is that one that you can see like in the distance right now. That one I tried to get up on, and then I realized there's a way around to it, which is what I'm probably moving on to do next, if I recall correctly. So there we got ourselves a little bit of armor. And now we're moving on. Which I thought, oh, maybe I can get to that crate. No surprise. There's no way for you to climb up to it and get that sardinium, which I found out that's what that thing is called. It's called sardinium. It gets explained a little later, and, well, now we have a name for it. Hit that checkpoint. And there we go. Sardinium get. He's gonna fight these choppers up here. I gotta wonder why the Octarians are tentacles with faces, because if you notice, like a lot of them they come in all sorts of shapes and forms, right? Whereas the Inklings are just Inklings, like that's what the squid evolved to, but the octopi have so many forms. It's mostly just limbs with faces, but then you also have the other cases like the Octolings, which how did they mutate from limbs with faces into that? I know, it's kind of curious to think about. And here I clear myself a path towards these ink pistons, and, well, I figure out that I'm probably gonna have to go up that wall. Which, you can see me trying to process how to do it, and I'm sort of like, thinking. But yeah, that's all you need to do, just... Got a little stuck there, but I made it. And we're not done yet. This was a short but sort of cool little action sequence there, like it shoots you and you land on the rail. It's kind of cool. Even Marie comments on it. She's like, "Oh, like a boost pad onto a launch pad onto a grind rail. Oh, the Octarians have some new tricks." Yeah. And then they gave us a new weapon, which I don't think I actually used at any point. Yeah, I don't think I used this one. I'm not sure what it was. Splashes to splashes, dust to dust. Well said, Marie. I'm sort of trying to figure out how to get over there. Why, thank you. Here you see me sort of be at a loss there. I'm not sure where to proceed. And I'm trying to figure out how to get back up there, and I'm like, oh, there's no way. And then I notice that I was just looking towards one side of the wall, and I didn't think of exploring the rest of the arena, but there we go now. We see him through the squid rings one more time. There's something really gratifying about doing that too. It's a cool incentive for the little fish eggs. There we go. More pistons, but you know, we're careful. We just give ourselves a little zone, like a little breathing room, and we make it. And there it is, our first sapfish of the day. Seized and rescued. Which, with this sapfish, we actually unlock the next area, the boss kettle, for the boss of the zone, which we're gonna go fight right now, of course. And well, let's go get him. There it is, the boss kettle has now opened, and we are ready to fight our first Octarian boss, or first Octo boss, as they call it, I believe. You can see me just goofing around. I was trying to make some time there. There we go. In to find the Octo Oven. The very first Octo boss we're gonna run into this time around. And earlier I mentioned how the Octarians come in all sorts of weird shapes and sizes. Wait until you see this guy. Oh. Snatch this sapfish right up into his puddle of Delaware punch, and here he comes. Get ready to meet the first octopus we're gonna fight today. Cool music, huh? And there he is, the Octo Oven, 425 degrees of pain. Which, if you notice, he's bread. This Octarian is bread inside an oven, and I'm real curious as to why, because they definitely do come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, you know, but I think this one takes the cake, or should I say the bread. So you know, we're getting ready to climb up him, It's a pretty straightforward battle. We just pop up the walls and we shoot that tentacle with some of our magic green toothpaste. Once we coat it all up, it explodes, looks pretty painful, and it launches us back down, and it begins its second phase, in which it's gonna do more of the same, but I think the difference is now it's gonna give us like some area denial attacks. I think it's doing it right now. Yeah, it shoots ink pistons, or well, churros as Marie calls them. Which, by the way, I could go for a churro. They are pretty yummy. The chocolate ones are just delicious. And there he goes. He's reading his ultimate again, which is just leaving him more exposed. But on his defense, like to his credit, I did mess up there, which does cause me to round. Man, he does give me a slap there. But you know, it doesn't matter. I had my armor. I proceed to just climb up the side and deliver righteous ink over all the way to tip of the tentacle. We got it to burst. Don't start loafing around, or things might go awry. Which actually, when I first ran through this, I didn't notice she said that. But there we go. Now the bread is armored, and it is now impervious to our attacks. Well, on the armored side. Which also, those jets of ink right there, I was kind of worried about them because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get enough distance on them. But you know, it all goes out well. We do make it through a solid distance away from it, and it's getting ready to attack us again. And this time it does it a little differently. It does like these sweeping motions. It does end up eventually exposing itself, as you're going to see in just a bit. But at that moment, I wasn't getting too sure how this was going to turn out. But you know, we got him. We climb up the bread. And well, that's it. This boss is now toast. Oh, just as Marie said it, this guy's toast. Oh well, we do think alike. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, we got him. They blow up. And they gave us our reward. That is to say, the missing sapfish. Oh, and some sardinium, which, you know, always nice to have. I found it, and this playthrough, I found out what we use it for. Guess I didn't know, but now I do. It's gonna get explained in just a bit. So, you know, hang in there, and they're gonna tell us. Good work, Agent 4. I sure know how to pick him. Yeah, they have octo bosses now. And there, it's time to call in the big guns, and she's calling Sheldon over. Sheldon is the owner of the weapon store, of Ammo Knights is what it's called. And he researches and gives us weapons for use in the campaign. Well, he gives us the weapon prototypes. So, you know, as long as we agree to help him test them, he lets us keep them for the campaign. So there he is explaining that, you know, as long as we help him test out his new weapons, he's gonna give us a hand. All I have to do is use them in real world conditions, so basically we're gonna take them to different campaign missions and using them. Oh, and once the retail versions are out, you can use them in Turf War battles. Which Turf War is the basic multiplayer game mode in Splatoon, sort of like the deathmatch, but it's not really a deathmatch, it's more to see, it's more about seeing who can ink the most area. Which is a really cool twist on the idea. And it's I think it's part of what made this just as successful as it turned out to be, because it is a pretty successful new IP. I mean, unlike ARMS, which again, no hate on ARMS is fun, but this felt like it has a lot more quality of life to it, or well, not quality of life. There's more replayability to the idea of Turf War than there is to ARMS matches. Also, you'll see that we were just told that the Enhancifier is now ready to use. That thing is basically where we upgrade our weapons. Now, I knew the ability to upgrade them was somewhere, but we didn't have it yet, and now we do. So if we check out the menu here, we'll see that we have no money to buy any upgrades. We're poor. Well, what can we do about it, huh? We're just gonna have to keep farming for a little more money, for a little more fish eggs, and, well, buying our upgrades. Which another thing, you'll notice that we can't actually increase our damage output with the weapons per se. We can increase the fire rate, which is really good. Because it keeps you mindful of how much ammo you're spending on them. Because if you have just like a bunch of ammunition, like a bunch of ink capacity, and a bunch of firepower and firing speed, well, you're just invincible, you know? And we're in the next area now, the Suction Cup Lookout. This is the next sort of hub we're going to be exploring here. And we're actually about halfway through the Corrupted Capture, I think. I do about 2 more levels and then we'll leave it at that, if I recall correctly. So here I am, just searching for the first one. Not being too successful in finding it though, I will admit. That went rather poorly. Not right now though. I do land on the entrance to the next level in just a moment. But you're gonna see what I mean once I'm out and looking for the one after that. Look, I didn't even remember I'd gone up here. So, you know, good to revisit, good to re-examine my footage. So let's get back up there and into the next stage. And here I am, stepping on ink. Kind of makes me curious if I can die here if I stay, like if I stand still on the ink too long. I'm gonna have to test that out later. Or why? There's no reason to test that out, and I'm not gonna. Okay, here's the entrance to the next level now, so let's get going. Ink me out, ink me, and spinning campground. This area has a really cool mechanic. I enjoyed it. You're gonna see it in just a moment. It's really neat. There, I could really use some more data on this weapon. Could you use it for a bit? And Sheldon has us using the hero shot, which is the basic gun. So, you know, it's just the one we normally use. Not really a whole lot to do here. But give it a moment. It's gonna get more interesting as time goes on. So here you have our first enemy. I try to take him out from behind the crate. I don't succeed, so I just go and, you know, just gun him down, whatever. And here it is, the ink furler. This is really fun, actually. They unroll when you ink them, and they unroll with your ink, and you can swim through them to go fast. But they also react like, you know, a surface would. If the enemy sprays them with their ink, they start furling back. It's really cool to see. And here I am, trying to have this uphill battle against these guys. I don't know why I'm... Oh, that's right. I was trying to test out how long they can, like, keep track of me. You know, like, if I stay still inside my ink for too long, are they still gonna see me? And the answer is yes. Yes, they did. So here we are, just shooting some more crates around. And well, you can see that the ink furlers are going to be the element that we're going to be using in this stage. Like, that's going to be the prevalent thing. We're going to use them for mobility and to keep advancing through the stage. Just going to get up here and take out this dummy, and then we can be on our merry way. Collecting some fish eggs, which I don't know if you noticed, but you do collect them when you shoot them, so that's handy. And here's some more fish eggs for our trouble of going down the other path. Which is not that much, but it's still cool to see. And here we are. Yeah, there's Sheldon giving us the tip. Oh yeah, like enemy ink will cause the ink furlers to roll back. Which those little ink sprays could give us trouble, but we do dispatch them fairly quickly, and we're on to the next checkpoint. There's Marie making the reference like, oh, her catchphrase was better, which I do agree. Stay fresh sounded... I don't know, stay fresh sounded more natural, you know? Don't get cooked, stay off the hook sounds like they were like, oh, we need to think up a new catchphrase that's gonna top the other one. And think it up they did. And, you know, it does come down to personal preference, like, oh, are Pearl and Marina better, or Kelly and Marie better? Which I do like Kelly and Marie, but I can't complain about the new, like, host girls. Because, I mean, Marina is adorable, and I do like Pearl, contrary to what I said, like calling her a gremlin. I do think she's alright. It's an interesting new design choice, I mean... And it went well. I think they're pretty well liked. At least I know Marina is. Pearl I'm not so sure about, but I still do like her. Oh, is that sort of like a High School Musical reference? Okay, and you know, we make it up. Oh, and this is super fun. This part was really cool, actually. Oh, I didn't notice Maurice said that. I should still decent open an amusement park. I actually didn't catch that the first time around I was playing. And here we come to what I think was the funniest and trickier area, but definitely one of the funner ones of this stage, which is this this unfurler bridge here. Which, if you notice, I'm trying to fight the Octarian, and I take him out, alright, but there's another one at the other end that I'm stuck fighting for a while. Because I'm thinking I can reach him from here. Which I can't, but I do consider him a hazard, so I'm like, oh, well, what am I gonna do to take him out? And what I end up doing is that I get brave, you know, and I cross the bridge. And there we go. Because the advantage is that they do shoot rather slowly, so even if they do hit you a little hard, as long as you keep moving, they don't have the time to roll the furlers back. See, we make it look easy. And we're actually almost at the sapfish, if I recall correctly. This should be the last area. Which, by the way, notice that bowling alley sign. The aesthetic that they use for these levels is pretty cool, like for the background. It's very surreal, but it's very visually appealing at the same time. It's not overly cluttered, but it has enough stuff on it that it keeps you interested in you know, noticing what's going on in the background. And here we lay out in an ambush for them. Well, it doesn't even count as an ambush. We wipe them all out with an ink furler. And we're almost to the sapfish now. This part is really cool. It's a cannon. We hop onto the cannon. And now, what I first thought was that the cannon launched me, right? So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna shoot, like, to the distance. But no, as it turns out, the cannon just shoots missiles. So we use it to dispatch the Octarians, and then we just open our way to the sapfish. As you'll notice in just a moment, we clear out the road. And we roll the ink furler out. We splat them all. And we roll down the ink furler. And we just swim up to our prize. The coveted sapfish. And there we go. That's 3 sapfish so far, as far as we are into the video. So that's always cool. Which we made it. Notice the little squid graffiti at the base of the entrance. I hadn't noticed that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we're trying to get to the next area. We actually don't know where they are, because the squid holes are hidden. And here I opened the map to see if I can find, like, the entrances marked in it, but they're not. We're gonna have to find them all. So here I hit this Enigma balloon, which moves away. And I think I'd try to chase after it, right? I'm like, oh, where'd it go? Wait, no, this is... I don't. Oh, that's weird. I remember chasing after it. Maybe it was off camera? Thing is, I lost it. So here I'm trying to walk, and I don't notice that gap, and I fall down, which, seeing it back in the capture, it looks really obvious. I don't know how I didn't see it. But, well, I guess you never notice it, huh? And I'm trying to swim up. I'm just failing miserably for some reason. You know, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be another way around, but nope, no, that is the only way up. See, for some reason, it wasn't splatting in there. Like, when I first tried to spray ink up to that wall, it wasn't, but there we go. I know, it would have been real embarrassing if I had fallen down twice, so I pay attention this time and I jump around. I know, I'm trying to find a way up here. I'm like, oh, which way to go? And there's the Enigma balloon again, which I'm probably just gonna try and shoot one more time and see how it turns out. And I'm trying to find a way up still. And I'm like, oh, well, the ink's not sticking, you know, it's sticking in that wood surface, but it's not sticking like in the actual structure. And then I notice you can just, you know, spray that wall, which for some reason I didn't see. It's kind of hard to tell which parts you can and cannot spray, but you know, I get it. I climb up to the next level. And here I pop that balloon and I see it goes away. So I'm like, oh, there it goes. And I try to shoot it. You know, I go down to engage the balloon. But I'm too late and I lose it. I don't know what that gives you. I'm guessing it's probably just going to be a bunch more fish eggs if you manage to nail it. Which I didn't. But it's interesting to explore, you know, it's a possibility that I'd like to look into in the future. well, there we go. We made it to the top, and obviously there's going to be a secret entrance here. So we hit it, we reveal it, and we go down to the Octo Park. And here comes a package for us, and Sheldon gives us the Hero Dualies, the weapons that we're going to be using in this stage. These are dual pistols. They let you dodge while you're firing them. I found them to be really cool. Like the sense of mobility they give you, and like the fast-paced action, shooting, rolling and stuff, it's really cool. It's very entertaining. And it gives you like this weird sense of speed even when you're using them, and you just want to go fast and shoot everything. It's really cool. And the rapid fire, it's just a pleasant experience. You're gonna see. You know, I just feel like some kind of big shot action hero just running around gunning the Octarians down with this. Because their damage output is also bigger up close, like you notice, they shoot faster so they hit harder. Well, they don't hit harder, but they hit for more damage because they are shooting faster. I'm trying to get the squid ring. And you know, it really ticks me off to see it floating there, like unable to get it. So I make the trip back to get it this time. Now obviously, the dualies do have a disadvantage, the disadvantage being that they have the ink falls off like at a shorter range, and the range is overall reduced compared to the hero shot we were using. But I mean, it feels like such a small penalty for being able to use these guns. I'm sorry, these guns. So you know, it's just cool. This stage was probably the most fun I've had while playing yet. So you can use the dodge roll from the duelist to activate and ride the right rail instantly. I didn't try to use a roll to activate it, but later on they do teach you. Oh, good armor. They do show you that you can also use the dodge roll to switch rails, which I think we're gonna experiment in a moment, and that was really neat too. See, we activate them both, and we're just making some jumps. See, that fast-paced sense of like constant movement is just so appreciated. I love it. I feel like it gives it a lot more, it gives it more of a sense of action, and that's really cool. So, you know, we make the jump. Here's a few more Octarians, which of course we're gonna quickly dispatch with our amazing dodge roll ability. My shots actually don't reach him, but he does reach me. And I try to take him out, and that's the part where you start sort of noticing the shortcomings of the weapon. Its range is not as good, but you know, it's still good. You try to shoot down on him. I fail. I almost fall off. Luckily, I just managed to catch my. I managed to get my bearings enough that you know nothing bad happens. But I failed to jump through the squid rings, and that does miff me because you know it looked like I was primed up to go through them. So, you know, we're doing some jumping now, and we end up on the good rail, which leads us all the way up to a final squid ring, which we miss. But we do get some Sardinium, so that's appreciated. And you know, now we're almost to the sapfish. Just listen to that music too. No, the background music for this game is really good. Steam these clams. Oh. Did it say steam these clams? Steamed clams. It's steam. From the steamed octopus we're having. I don't know why I'm coding this whole up. Yes, I was just sort of in autopilot for a little bit. Because I zoned out a little. I don't remember what I was starting to think about, but I did zone out a little there. But you know, we get back on the rail. And this is a really cool segment. It's probably the best segment so far. You're just riding up the rail in the spiral, just really quickly, trying to take everything down. And there we collected a scroll. the first one we've found so far. There's one hidden in each level if I recall correctly, so we're gonna have to make some effort to get them all. Probably gonna grind them off camera though, so, you know, I'll show you like the collection once we have them all. And here we have claimed our new sapfish. After some amazing grinding, after, you know... And there we go. After some fast-paced, shooty grinding, we have now collected the sapfish. And now Sheldon has given us the hero jewelies for us to keep and use as we see fit. And, you know, we can upgrade them like everything else. And here we have our first scroll. It looks like a get-rich-quick scheme by some shady guy with crazy hair. I made a cool 10 million G in a year just sitting around. Ask me how. Those seashells were used in the previous game. I'm not sure if they returned in this one. But what you did with them was that you took him to this guy, the sea urchin that was sitting in an alley. And what he'd do was that he'd re-roll your gear traits for you. Because, you know, there are certain abilities and like passive abilities and traits that the gear you equip gives you. And what that guy did was he re-rolled them for you if you gave him those shells. So, you know, if you got like a good gear with bad abilities, you could just re-roll them and hope for the best. But, you know, that aside, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you all for watching, I really do appreciate it, and well, have a good evening everyone.